Hello and welcome back to the AI-Driven Marketer. I'm Dan Sanchez. My friends call me Danchez, and today is another episode of Ship Happens, where I'm going to try to deliver some results with AI in 60 minutes or less. And if I don't make it in 60 minutes, there will be a consequence. And I'm going to carry over the consequence from the last live episode I did yesterday. Which is I'm going to get roasted by ChatGPT if I don't finish what I set out to do in 60 minutes. Now, if you're new to this is something I'm kind of running as an experiment. So far, I've done this is going to be the fourth episode, actually, of Ship Happens. The first episode, we created the whole premise around Ship Happens. On Monday, what did we do? We created a whole podcast series in 60 minutes with AI, a whole 5 episodes, and shipped it. Got that one done. And yesterday, I created a whole ChatGPT project that was a whole just life coach. So go check out previous days Ship Happens to see what we were able to make and see what it's like working with AI to accomplish things that should be pretty hard, but in a very short, compressed amount of time. Today, we're going to be building an app with one of Google's newer tools that was hot when it came out, and then nobody talked about it since then. And it's a cool tool called Google Opal. It's one of those tools that is very powerful if you know what to do, but oftentimes people come into contact with these automation tools and they're like, I don't even know what to do here. So I've actually taken a few runs at Google Opal when it first came out, and I actually had no success with it. But the premise behind this tool is so good that I'm like, surely I just need to take another swing at it. So that's going to set some high stakes for today, because I'm actually doing something that I failed at before, and I'm hoping I can do it in less than 60 minutes. So the app that I want to make with this thing is essentially replacing what I'm already doing with custom GPTs, but should be going a step farther, because with Google Opal, you can essentially make a web form, put in some inputs and click go, and then it runs behind the scenes. It's essentially somewhere between custom GPTs and using a very hard to use automation tool like make.com or NAN. The real funny thing is that it's actually really easy to use, but it can break really easily. So if you don't get it right the first time, it can be really hard to repair. So we might have to take multiple swings in order to do it. But if we can do it, this is going to open up a floodgate of all kinds of different apps that we can make. This is a product that's currently in beta, so I'm not sure. Hopefully Google continues to improve it, make it smoother, make it work better, and add more things for it to do. But we don't really know that. So I'm hoping this tool gets better, because right now the idea behind it is really powerful. So let me share my screen and let's get it up and running. And if you're joining me live, I am looking at the chat. I will be monitoring the chat the whole time. I usually get a trickle of you coming in here live, joining me from usually LinkedIn. I think I'm live on LinkedIn. We should probably check real quick to see if we're actually live where I said I would be live. Am I live on LinkedIn? LinkedIn peeps, are you there? Let's see. What's up? Yes, it is live. It is happening. Maybe I need to share it out. It's hard to know sometimes. I'm still kind of new to live streaming. So does it get shared out when you go live? Yes, it does. So here we are. Let's go. If anybody's watching, we are going to do this in 60 minutes. Let me go ahead and share the screen here. Share screen, entire screen, this screen. Let's move the screen share out of the way. Oh, let's make sure I got my face up in the corner somewhere. There we go. In the action. We're going to move restream into the other window. Remember, I can see the chat. So if you want to chime in, we can do that. And I'm going to bring another window open here. I got my 60-minute countdown timer ready to go. I'm going to make my face slightly larger. No, too large. Too large. Too much Danchez. Too much Danchez. Come on. No. There's got to be a way to make one slightly bigger, right? What did I do yesterday? No. Guys, this is embarrassing. I will get this. We will figure this out together. This is when it's nice to have a co-producer, but Ken's been busy, so it's got to be a different size here. There we go. No, I can't get it where I want it. So we will just stick with this layout for now. But you can see my screen. You can see the timer. You can see the notepad available here. And I got a browser. We're going to go to google.com. I don't even know. Let's go to Google. I don't even know what the URL is. It's some weird URL. If you haven't been, it's opal.withgoogle.com. Man, what a disaster. This is part of the problem with Google's AI tools is they're scattered across all these different weird domain names. They even just came up with another one called Mixbook or something like that, which is a design app. Everything's in beta. Everything's experimental. I'm like, can you just double down on a few things, Google? They have been doubling down on the AI and the video and images, but it's like, come on, like some of these cool apps you have, let's get it going. So, all right, before we get started, let's set the stake. We're going to build in a working app with Google Opal. This app will, I'm going to put the requirements. It's going to take a transcript plus a show outline, because I mean, I'm a podcaster, right? This is what we're doing. I'm going to take a podcast plus the outline that has the links in it, and it's going to turn it into multiple pieces of content. Again, I've made this custom GPT many times and refined it over time, something that takes a transcript and repurposes it into all the stuff. But I wanted to do a number of different things. I want to make a blog post, newsletter, maybe 3 LinkedIn posts. What else can we make? Twitter/X thread. What else can we make? I think we're just going to call it that good for now. Unless anybody else has ideas of like what this should look like. Anybody in the chat yet? Yes. Tyler Jones. All you said was yes, so I got nothing more for you. But somebody is watching. I always forget on Restream where the heck I could see how many people are watching live. Oh, there it is. Got all of 2 of you. Great. That's okay. The recording always goes out afterwards. And honestly, doing this live and trying to get something done that's hard in 60 minutes has kind of been a challenge. And it's kind of been like a workout for my AI marketing muscle doing this daily. And it's been really fun. So I've been back every day. And even if no one's watching, I'm still here doing the work, trying to figure out if I can use AI to accomplish something cool in 60 minutes or less. So I think I have a good set of requirements of what we're trying to do in 60 minutes. Can we build an app that does all this? It's probably going to take multiple iterations. I might get it done way faster. Because I haven't done this successfully yet, I'm not exactly sure how long this takes. So let's actually, because we had more than enough time yesterday, let's come up with some bonuses. Bonus. Can it also make a thumbnail? Nano Banana, its image model, is really good, but not quite as good at ChatGPT at coming up with thumbnails. But I think the thumbnail will probably be good enough. Let's add one more. Oh no, I'm going to give it a title. That's one of the things I'm going to already have done by the time. Title of the show. What else could we do here? Maybe alternative titles is fine. It's still something else it can develop, and then we could just have it there available if we need it. Maybe show notes for the podcast itself. In fact, should we put that one as one of the ones? I think we'll put that here rather than a bonus. Okay, I think this is good. 60 minutes to accomplish this. If I have more time, we're going to go into making the thumbnail and alternative titles. The thumbnail is pretty tough because it takes a long time to generate. So let's get the clock started. and see if we can do it. Let's see if we can make ship happen. Boom. All right. Now, the trick with creating an app is you have this whole drag and drop interface to do it, but you actually don't have to drag and drop anything. You actually can just tell it what you want it to build, and it builds it for you, but you can get it wrong. So in order to do this well, we essentially have to craft one mega prompt in order to guide it, knowing it's got reasoning ability so it can think through it step by step. So let's describe the app that we want it to make. Want you to build an app that repurposes need to specify a podcast episode into multiple forms of content. The input will require, because again, it's building a form, so I have to establish the inputs, the episode title, transcript, and outline that includes links to relevant news sources and resources mentioned. I'm going to be using a past episode of the AI Driven Marketer that I do with my brother Travis for the Bot Bros segment. Then you will take those 3 inputs to create the following pieces of content in separate documents. And I'm going to specify, what do we have in our list? We have blog post. I need to probably specify at the top that each needs its separate prompt, because I don't want one prompt and plus like, oh, here's the general prompt, make it a blog post. Here's the general prompt, make it in just one line saying, make it a LinkedIn post. I have specific instructions for every single one, and it needs to give me a place to put that on the back end, hopefully. I've messed around with it a little bit, so I kind of know what it looks like, but at the same time, like I haven't done this successfully, so we're going to see if it's actually possible. Tyler Jones, what's up? If anybody wants to comment, I can incorporate and make changes on the fly when it comes to this live challenge. So let me know if there's anything else you want me to see, or if you want me to add some content to the mix because you think maybe I didn't make this hard enough. We'll see. Any questions along the way, and I can explain what I'm doing too. Let's see. So we got blog post. Formatting's a little off, but that's okay. Newsletter. 3 LinkedIn posts. Twitter thread. Podcast show notes. All right. Now, that's my initial prompt. To separate documents and be created based on their own specific prompts. I'm going to put to come. I don't know if it's going to get like the fact that I'm going to add that in later. I don't want to put them into the initial prompt because I'm afraid it's going to like get distracted, because those are instructions for AI too, and it might get lost in it. So I'm just trying to build like the scaffolding of what needs to happen, hoping that's enough in order to guide it as it creates this app. So let's put it in. It's all in there. And hold on, a little formatting thing. Let us see how it does. And it's go time. It is now running. And if you haven't heard of Google Opal, this launched like a month ago. So this is still a relatively new tool, and not a lot of people are using it. I heard a few AI creators talk about it when it first launched, of course, and we saw some initial demos, and it's been quiet about it since then. But it's honestly a really powerful tool. Lots of promise with this tool. because if there's one thing that I hear the most from more mature, all right, Scott created it, but one thing I hear the most from more mature marketers using AI is they want to start going from prompting into automation, into workflows. And this tool has the ability to deliver that. So if we can get this tool to work, I could probably be doing a lot more demos and demonstrating how to use this tool with best practices, because a lot of us already have access to this kind of tool within Google. So a lot of us already paying for like G Suite and all that kind of stuff. So it looks like it's did it. Let's go ahead and click start. Did it. Enter the podcast title. So I wonder if this is a step-by-step form, because I don't see usually, like, is there an app? Enter the podcast title. Like, is it going to ask me on the next stage to ask me for the next thing, or did it screw up already? I don't know. Only one way to find out. Let's go into Zencastr. Open this up on a separate screen here. I need to get my past show title. Come on, Zencastr. Open up. Oh my gosh. Did my internet go out, guys? It happens sometimes. There we go. Zencastr's just going a little slow. Got to get to my show. Let's see what we got. This is the last episode that I did with Trav. Let's grab that title. AI hit the tipping point for sure, at least with marketers. It certainly has this year. Can't say for the whole population. I'm gonna go to my sessions where I recorded this. There's the last one. Here we go. This is where it stores the transcript in Zencastr. So, but let's start with the title. Oh, there it is on the next page. It's asking for the transcript. Fantastic. Okay. Copy. Got the transcript. Yep, full transcript. And then it should ask for the show notes. Okay. This is going well so far. So let's open up. This is where I keep the general outline for just a basic rough. This is kind of our down and dirty way that we manage the show. Okay. Now let's go and put in the links. All right. Cross your fingers, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, prompt. Oh my gosh. It's going to ask me for all the prompts now. I was hoping it would just do it. Okay. Prompt for the blog post. Okay. Let's go gather them all up. This is going to take a while. I'm probably going to need to really copy and paste these and store them somewhere. Let me go and gather. I'm going to have to gather these. They're kind of scattered everywhere. Like I have little bits and prompts scattered throughout. And over in ChatGPT, you can like personalize it. And I kind of have some instructions around blogging there. Like every time I write you to... see, I'm going to put when you write a blog post. These are just... here's all the instructions for writing a blog post. Pretty simple. It's essentially giving like the stuff that I would say every single time. Okay. I think I'm going to copy in that and just store that for later. So I have a feeling I'm going to have to go find that again. This is the blog post instructions. Okay, now it's going to ask me for every single set of instructions. Okay, let's go. Let's go get it. I have a... where are you? I have notes for this everywhere. This is going to slow down. We're at 51 and haven't even gotten the first generation done. I have the Bot Bros newsletter maker. We're just going to take all the instructions for that. And I'm not even going to look at them. We're just going to see if they work. We're going to paste that in there. Hit go. Okay, I'm also going to store those here. And this is going to get really unruly really fast. So let's actually... the one thing I love about... notes in Apple, if I could get rid of this, is that if you add a header to it, it like makes it a toggle. It's one of the things I love about if the formatting wasn't screwing up for me right here royally. But it is. If can I do it here at least? Usually if you add a header, it becomes a toggle, and then you can kind of like tuck it away. I think it's because... where's my writing tools? No, not those writing tools. That's okay. I'll just leave it the way it is. No headers. All right, we need the one for the LinkedIn post, which I have in my LinkedIn. I have this stuff all over the place. So let's go grab the instructions for that one. I don't actually have any instructions for Twitter thread because I never do Twitter threads. Maybe I would maybe I would, but I don't. I'm going to do nothing. I'm just going to say format it for our next thread. Ta-da! Podcast show notes generation. So I do have that somewhere post-production. We're going to open up that GPT and grab the instructions from there. It's kind of too much for just this one thing, but we're going to go for it. Oh, there's like a part 2 I need to edit out in here. Okay, we're going to kill. Actually, I'm going to copy this part. Nope. Come on. Man, it's hard to work with. It only gives me this little tiny window. What can I do? Step. There we go. To kill that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Is it working? I'm not sure what's going on here. Come on, Google Opal. It would be, imagine if that happened on the first try. Then if this happens on the first try and it actually works as expected or as hoped for, then we're just going to have to go build some more apps in the next hour, right? We'll have to be taking some conversations. Question, if you're watching this live right now, or you're just watching this later, I can answer after the fact. What would you automate if you could? If you knew AI could build out the workflow automation, what would you automate? That's usually the thing. Everybody wants to automate. Nobody knows what they would want to automate. And that's the hardest part of automation, is actually defining what do you want to happen. And that's the trick. That's the reason why most people never get into automation, is because they can't think about what they want to have happen consistently. And in order to do that, you have to define a trigger point. What starts the process? What happens during the process? And what does the outcome of the process need to be? And it's funny because I usually find that people want to define the whole process, but it is tricky because you have to understand what's actually possible, because you could be like, when I publish this, I just want all this stuff to happen without me thinking about it. And you're like, well, you're going to have to think about some parts about how the trigger gets started in order for it to be what it needs to be fed it in order to accomplish what you want. Right. But after you kind of know what the basic requirements are, the different types of ways you can trigger an automation, what can happen during the automation, and what it can generally produce, which is what you're able to do for outcomes. And automation is getting crazier and crazier with AI. You can generally start to imagine what you want to have happen, actually build automation sequences. You can see it's working through it step by step. I actually don't really see it. Like, I think if I was on the editor, got so close. Something went wrong. Please try again or send feedback. Let's view the details. Service unavailable. So what happened? Something went wrong. So now do I need to try again? Like, where did it get screwed up? Try again. Oh, and I gotta go feed it all again. Ugh. So I don't really like that it had to ask me for the prompts every time, because that would be annoying, right? You don't want to have to refeed it the prompts every time. So let's go ahead and take a look at how it built it. Interesting. So it's taken the... Okay, well, that's how it structured the prompt. I think we can fix this by getting rid of some of this. We could probably kill these. Can I kill this? See, I can't edit it after the fact. Delete selection. Oh, we can. Delete selection. Delete selection. delete selection. Now I'm really screwing it up. So it's only going to ask me for the first 3 things now. And of course I have a broken variable, but we could just take what I gave it here. So this is the blog post instructions. And we're going to replace that here and see if we can make it better this way. That way I only have 3 fields kicking off all of them. Okay, so we've just pasted those in manually. What's this one? This is the newsletter generator, which is what I have here. And we're going to replace what was me injecting it there. I'm going to put it there. We're going to do the same thing for the LinkedIn post, which I went and grabbed. See, I forgot to copy and paste them down. I knew I was going to have to grab it again. Let's go grab the LinkedIn instructions. If you didn't know, projects can hold instructions. If you use ChatGPT and you don't pay for it, literally the most powerful feature you have in here is projects, because you can write instructions for it. This is the thing that you need to be spending time on. Not even what I'm working on right now. You need to start using projects ASAP. All right, generate Twitter thread. I'm going to give it no prompt here. Under the post. Post in the thread. There we go. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so we got that. Let's grab these instructions again and go ahead and add them. We did the Twitter thread one, and now we just have the show notes. So let's go ahead and grab those show notes. I'm going to get rid of everything after step 2 because that starts to go more than show notes. We don't need all that. Don't need all this. And done. Okay. All right. So I've modified this pretty dramatically. Now, I don't think that's probably going to fix the problem that we ran into, because I don't know why it ran into that problem. But just for funsies, let's see if that did anything, because I don't know. I wish the input fields were all on one form. I'm a little annoyed that it didn't. I didn't even think it could do multi-step forms, but here we are. It's fine. Maybe we do a different iteration later. I have to go back to Zencastr now, but at least all the prompts are in one place, right? Let's go to, not this one, this one. Episodes. Remember, it's this episode. Let's grab the title. I'm going to open it up. Here's the title. Title. Done. Transcript right here. Done. And outline, again, was right here. That way it actually has access to the links, because it'll hallucinate on the links otherwise. So we're going to hit go. And it's generating. This time I'm looking at the editor view, so you can actually see it, the little lines shimmer a little bit to show you that it's thinking. We are 20 minutes in, ladies and gentlemen, and I haven't had a successful deploy yet, but that's why I gave myself 60 minutes. You know, something else I should have added to the prompt is to publish each of these in a Google Doc, like separate Google Docs. Even better if it would be in one, one Google Doc, and each of these were a separate tab on a Google Doc. That would just be like a thing of beauty right there. And that's where Google generally has a huge like advantage over ChatGPT, is it has so much more infrastructure to play with, versus ChatGPT doesn't have docs and things. It's got a nice canvas tool, but dang, my canvases get lost all the time. ChatGPT would improve dramatically even if you could just store all your canvases in one place. Claude actually has the ability to store all your artifacts within a big window, kind of like ChatGPT has a place where your library goes for all your images. I wish library had another tab right here that said canvases. Actually, if canvases was first and images were over here, that would be ideal. Or if in individual projects, you could have all your canvases as part of the files or something, that would be amazing. But no, not yet. Can't complain too much. ChatGPT has gotten so much better over the last year, like dramatically better. So still thinking, will it make it all the way? Come on, Google Opal. You got this. By the way, if you're just tuning in, this is Ship Happens, a live show where I challenge myself to ship some results with AI in 60 minutes. So in the beginning of the show, I actually frame up what I'm trying to accomplish. I have 60 minutes to accomplish it. That's why the timer is going right now. And sometimes I make it, sometimes I don't. And I have to pay the consequence. The consequence I'm going to pay this time is having ChatGPT roast me at the end. It was yesterday's consequence, but I passed the test and finished everything I set out to do within 60 minutes. Today, I'm trying to build a Google Opal automation workflow in less than 60 minutes. And it is something I've actually tried before when this tool first came out a month ago and failed at twice in a row. And then I kind of gave up on it, but I'm revisiting it because look at this. Like if this actually works and I can expand it and improve it and make it more sophisticated, hone it in, would that not change the game for you? It would for me, because I have ChatGPTs doing this all right now. But if I don't have to advance every single step of a ChatGPT and I just give it all the inputs and be like, click, go, publish, that would make a big difference, right? Look at this. What do we have? It built a whole freaking website. What is going on? Okay, well, I'm so not sure what to do right now, as I'm not sure what I'm looking at, but it did deliver all the freaking goods. Okay. My gosh, guys, I'm so excited right now. Can I go to app and view it? Oh my gosh, look at this. Oh, it broke. Okay. Can I go back? Come on, give me a second chance. Oh, no. Where'd it go? Is this the one I was working on? It named it? Well, what happened to the generation? Oh, you suck so bad. What happened to it? Oh, you can theme these? Generate your own theme? I don't care about that. I think like it only lets you change the color of this, which is just dumb. Okay, so it did generate a whole, did you see it? Like before I broke and I clicked back, it had generated all the content. I was trying to click around through it, but the website that it built wasn't quite it. I wonder, okay, so you can suggest to edit. I'm afraid to suggest an edit because I'm like, okay, so here it is. Look at this. Okay, combine content into a web page. Kind of cool. I would like it a lot better. Save to Google Docs. Let's do that. Actually, let's go back to web page. And instead of me trying to write it, because I'm not as familiar with it, it is nice that you can actually like just say, hey, make this thing, but you still have the drag and drop editor to like play with it and adjust it and make it more of yours. And the variables are pretty easy to play with. So I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Instead of, what is it? Creating a web page at the end, please save all of the content into a single Google Doc that gets saved in my Google Drive. Can it do it? I think it's a reasonable request. I mean, you saw it right here. It has Google Docs in there. It looks like we can save to Google Sheets. That's cool. Google Slides. I don't know how that would be any good. Manual layout, and we have web page auto layout. The web page one wasn't bad. We didn't have a lot of time to review it before it died. And unfortunately, the thing that I took note of, if it's in a web page and you don't copy and paste it somewhere else and you click off of this app or your internet dies, all that content's gone. So the Google Doc seems like the best way to go. The web page is like, why would you do that? It doesn't get saved anywhere. So instead of changing it manually, I'm going to go ahead and see if we can change it automatically and then see what it does. So we were really close. Like I almost got to the point where all this would have been checked off right now. It's kind of like an all or nothing, right? Because I'm trying to get it to do everything. And I don't really see a way to like stair step it and do one at a time. It's kind of like all or nothing here. So I can see it loading. It's spinning, but is it going to change? Come on, Google. The longer you take to make this change, the longer it takes to actually get this challenge done. Okay, did it do it? It didn't give me any confirmation. Okay. So it took out all the instructions that were there and just like inserts the rendering into a Google Doc. How does it know where to save it in my drive? Like, does it create a place for that? Google Doc title. Oh, we can create a Google Doc title. It would be really cool if the Google Doc was titled the title of the blog post, but I don't really see a way to insert the variable here. If I hit slash, does that kind of pull it in? How do you pull in variables? No, it's a suggest an edit to a prompt. Can I come back and grab one of these variables? Can I copy that and then move it over to some place like here? Oh, it worked there. Can you do that? I think I would like this. Hello? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. And I'm gonna at least move the title to the top. Okay, and say content. I don't know what that's gonna do, but oh, look, if you paste it in there, it actually did pull the variable in. I don't know if that's just gonna actually insert this variable or if it's gonna be dynamic or what. We're gonna find out if that works. I have a feeling that's not gonna work, and the title of the Google Doc, if it's successful, is going to just be this string right here. Let's go. Let's find out. All right, let's go back to preview. Did my changes save? It looks like it's saved. And we're going to go start. This is a preview. Can we go to the app mode? I kind of like watching it in preview because then you can kind of see it loading. I don't know why that's so much more satisfying. Console. Waiting for user input. Okay. So let's go to the app again and see what happens this time. Again, we need, where is it? Need the name of the show. Name of the show. We need the podcast transcript, which we have here in Zencastr. And then we have the outline. So let's grab that again. Outline. In the future, I'd probably upload some images too, but let's just go with that. Okay, now we're waiting. It's generating blog posts. It takes time to do all this. And every swing we take, we're losing more minutes on the clock since we're down to 32 minutes. Where are we at? Anything else in the comments? No, nothing from you guys. There's a few of you watching now. It tells me. One on YouTube, one on Twitch. I don't know how anybody even finds this on Twitch, but how is there no one watching on LinkedIn? Come on, LinkedIn peeps. I know some of you are on lunch break right now. Don't you want to do cool AI stuff together? Generating that newsletter. I'll be excited to do a full breakdown of this on the show where you get to skip by all this waiting. But I mean, this is realistic. A lot of AIs. I imagine if you build a really robust app, you can just click go and then go write some emails and then get back to it. But since we have a minute, let me do a little plug with this new little animation I made in Google Gemini just yesterday. So check this out.
Smash that like button like it owes you bandwidth and subscribe before I crash again. Do it now or I start buffering forever.
Did you like that? I actually did that with Google Gemini. It's actually a ChatGPT image moved over to Google Gemini, and then with just a little bit more music and editing on CapCut. But I find that is a fun way to actually use AI video to take an image and bring a little life and animation to it. In fact, that was 404, which is a custom GPT I made that I talk to every once in a while when I need a sarcastic robot to help me with some funny writing of some kind. In fact, 404 actually wrote the copy for that like and subscribe ad itself to inject a little bit of humor, a little bit of fun. I have a hypothesis that AI influencers will be big, and people are thinking too limited when they think of AI influencers because they're trying to recreate human influencers. And I'm like, why? Like, if you're not limited to humans, like, the sky's the limit. Come up with characters that are like way more interesting than humans. Like, it's almost like Jeff Bezos is like, you can't outbook a book. Don't try to outhuman a human. Create something that humans can't do. Anyway, that could be a whole episode in and of its freaking self, but that's going to be a thing. People will figure it out eventually that if you're going to make an AI influencer, don't make it a human. Make it something that is not human, something that a human can't do. It'll be way more fun. All right. It looks like we made it all the way through. It's like home stretch, trying to probably in the Google Docs section now, hoping. And this is where it's most likely going to run into an error now that it knows how to work through all the content. Since we got all the content successfully one time. And we're moving to the final stage of the load and the build here. But it is taking its sweet time. Oh, there it is. It built the website again. Interesting. Did I forget to save it that it did that? Okay, but before I click any of the buttons and it freaking fails again, let's go ahead and evaluate what we got. Okay. Let's scroll through. It just says blog post. Okay, there's there's interestingly, I don't know why it inserted the word blog post right here. Remember I inserted the title at the top, but I don't know. So here's the blog post. Not a great blog post. I don't see a lot of like headings. Not great. Okay, here's the newsletter. It's got a space. Isn't just for techers. Not bad. Not bad. Main news coverage. I don't really like it. The formatting isn't good on this, but as I'm looking at it, it followed the prompt of what I want in a newsletter pretty well, even though it's all smashed together. It's not bad. It just needs better formatting. And I don't know if it's because we did this in a web page or what. Oh, here's my 3 LinkedIn posts. They're even side by side. And the way I have the instructions set for all 3 LinkedIn posts is take one piece of content and then write a long and straightforward post, a short and concise post, and then a spicy take. So let's see, is the spicy one spicy? It's just ahead of expectations. It's shattering them. A little bit more spicy. Then is AI just for tech nerds and early adopters? Not anymore. Is this one the shortest? Okay, so it kind of hit it. Here we have the Twitter thread. Need to add instructions not to use hashtags. That's kind of dead on Twitter. And the show notes are exactly how I would format the show notes. So it doesn't have the hyperlinks in them, but that's okay. Okay, so it got all the content mostly there. I think I need to work on the prompt for the blog post to really get that to where I would want it to be. And I'm not sure if it actually delivered the Google Doc, because I'm seeing the web page again. Remember, we shifted it to a Google Doc, but it's getting close. Let's go ahead and remember the file name. Did it name it file name, or did it take that? Did it give it a weird file name? Let's test this right now and say if I click newsletter, oh, it did the thing again. It died. I don't know why it's doing that. Can I refresh it and bring it back? Nope. See, we started all over again. Let's go over to Drive. Sorry if there's something in my Drive that's offensive. Hopefully, I don't think there is anything. Gemini Gems. Oh no, that's for gems, not Opal. 404. Okay. Oh wait, what is that? Oh yeah, that's right. That's interesting that it saves gems in your Drive. I made a gem for the first time just the other day. Here's Opal. Podcast repurposing. Is that it? No preview available. What's this? This is an app. What's this? A random image. Well, like what did it put in the Opal folder? We're gonna have to find out. Is it the instructions? Like what could it have possibly stored there? Is it storing everything? Okay. So I think this is like the JSON data that if I wanted to move this Opal to another Google account, I could recreate it really easily here. And I could kind of see my prompts in there. So, but where's the blog post? right? Okay, let's take the title. Is it in here? No. I mean, it is in this Bot Bros document where I got it from, but that's not it. Did it insert it randomly in the bottom here? You know what else it could be is that weird name we were looking at earlier. Remember, we went here. Let's go to console, step. Remember, we had created this. See, like, I bet this is the title of the doc if it ended there at all. See if it created a doc titled that. No. So it didn't create the doc. It created generate HTML, save to Google Docs, but it didn't save it to Google Docs. So how do you get it to save to Google Docs? I feel like we're so close. It's generating a web page. Instead of trying to dynamically insert it, let's just call this, let's make it something easy to find, like Bot Bros content, and we're going to call it 123. So if it makes it easier to search it later when I find it. Google Doc title. Okay, so it's generate HTML. I wonder if there's a different output we can make. Does this, I think this is even, this doesn't matter. This is just the name of the output, but this is what actually controls the output, but it still made the website. So I'm stuck, guys. I feel like it's like I accomplished it, but it's only partially accomplished. So how do we get it to save to a Google Doc? I mean, I'm already in my Google account. It already has access to everything. So let's try again. Let's see if we can give it 2 outputs. Can we do 2 outputs? Auto layout, save to Google Docs, Google Doc title. Oh, look, it automatically connected them all. That's interesting. We're going to set this one back to web page and auto layout, and we're going to set this one to save to Google Docs. Should we, like, since it takes so long to render it, should we, like, do another one? How many outputs can you add, right? I don't know. Can we do a Google Sheets? Could be exciting. And I just copy and paste it in. What's exciting is I think once you input the variable from these, it automatically links them all visually here, so you can kind of see what's going on. So we got 3 outputs. Again, we have 3 inputs that we're giving it, all the different AI processes it's doing, and then we have 3 outputs. I'm going to do a web page. I'm going to do a Google Doc. Again, we're going to call this looks like you can choose the different model. I'm going to go ahead and do Pro because the website keeps breaking, right? Can you choose the model on these two? No, can't do the model on those. I wonder what's the generate one. What else? Oh, here it is, where you can generate Imagen 4. Oh, you can generate videos. That's kind of cool. We're gonna have to play with that. Of course, I only have so many video generations a day. I found I think it was like a max of like 6 or 7 videos a day. So there's some places to work with. Imagen is not as good as the Nano Banana, so they haven't put out Nano. Oh, but you can do Audio LM, generate like little mini podcast episodes. I don't know why you'd want to do that from a podcast transcript, but who knows? Could be fun. I got this random generation here, but we don't need that, so let's kill that. And just see if we can get this done. Come on, Google Doc. I'm shooting for Google Doc. I'm going to add that as a requirement. All to Google Doc, but dang, we are getting close. And this time we're going to do Google Sheets, we're going to do Google Docs, and we're going to do a web page and just see what the heck happens. What does this do? Sometimes you just got to click on stuff. What the heck is this? I have no idea what this would do. Web search. Is that available on these two? Oh, it is. So you can search the web, add maps, get a web page, execute other code. Interesting. So you can make it do a web search and then have a prompt that goes and finds something with this injected variable. That could be exciting because you can give it something and go have it, like, instead of me giving it the outline with the links in it, it can go and search for them, which is kind of cool. That would be a 2.0 feature because we got 20 minutes left and we're going to push start again and we're going to see what happens. Of course, let's go to, I liked it better in the app because if you do it here, it just smashes it all in here as a preview. Unless there's a way to expand it. No. Okay, so we're going to go to app. We're going to click start. And again, we have to give it the goods again, which is podcast title. Transcript, submit, and outline. Okay, here we go. We're getting closer every single generation. We're running out of time. Come on, Google. Come on, Google. I feel like when I'm hitting button, like, I don't know if it's going to work. I think this is the thing, is you just have to keep trying. You have to keep experimenting and hope for the best. And if something breaks and you try again, you try again, you try again, you try again, and then eventually it works. Or you try it again until it does, or until you find something else, or you find an alternative way of doing it. So we're working on the newsletter. And of course, it takes a while to generate all these. Some of these are pretty long form content here. I'm really curious to see how the formatting looks on the Google Doc itself. So if you're just tuning in for the first time, this is a live show called Ship Happens, where I'm trying to ship real results with AI in 60 minutes or less, or I have to pay the consequence. Today's consequence is I'm going to get roasted by ChatGPT. With all the information it knows about me and my account, I'm going to ask it to roast me. Yes, it's going to be a good time. And I only have 18 minutes to accomplish today's, which I have over here, which is build an automation with Google Opal, where I want to give it a transcript, a show outline, and a title, have it generate all this content, which so far it's able to generate all this content. The one thing I added as a requirement down the line, halfway through the show, which is ballsy, is that I wanted to put it all in a Google Doc. And so far I've been unsuccessful with that. Google Opal is a new tool that Google released just a month ago. You can see it even has the label experimental. It's in beta mode, which is why it breaks sometimes. But honestly, it's really powerful. And if we can learn how to harness this to build all kinds of workflows, it's a lot more powerful than just gems or a custom GPT or even a project. Because it can do all the different things that you need it to do across different mediums, and do it for us while we're out. Say it's doing all this stuff, I don't have to advance it. It's just going and doing all the work, and it's going to put it where I need it to go, hopefully in the Google Drive. So I can go and do something like answer emails while it's cooking for me. And if I had multiple of these, I assume I could run all of them, right? The cool thing is you don't even have to pay for like API limits. It's just part of your Google account. I'm sure there's a limit to it. Like I couldn't run this all day, every day across 100 of these different tools or apps that you can build. But there's probably a reasonable limit. It probably lets you do quite a bit for the price of whatever it costs to pay for workspaces. I think it's like $15 a month now. Pretty good deal. So now I'm waiting. Hope it's generating that web page. We're on the final step, but hopefully it generates the Google Doc. Come on, Google Doc. I'm really curious to see if it generates that Google Sheet too, since we added 3 outputs to this one: Google Doc, Google Sheet, and the web page. We're down to 16 minutes. Come on, Google Opal. It looks like you can share the app too. I'm kind of afraid to click it because I'm afraid of what might happen. Something happened. Is this the file? Guys, I don't know what this means. Okay, let's download it. That feels like the safest button to push right now because this is not as good as what we've gotten before. Did it download? I don't think I got a file. No, I got that file from earlier. Download file, share output. Please share your Google Opal first. Share. View share permissions. I don't know. Help me. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, if I share it with anybody with a link. Is that what I need to share the output? Share output. I don't know if it worked. And I'm afraid to click anything. What is this? This is not a doc, but it's something. Clearly, we had some craziness go on. What it means for marketers today. An overview of keynote takeaways for your strategy. Okay, we made a slide. I don't know why it made a slide. I did not ask it to make a slide. I'm pretty sure I asked it to make a Google Sheets. I don't know how it would have stored it all into a spreadsheet, but I was kind of hoping. But I guess cool. And this is why it's an experimental phase. I don't know. Where did it even store said sheet? Okay. Let's see if we can go find that under Drive. Come on. Look at that, guys. And it's just before it made the freaking... Maybe it was a user error. Maybe I did tell it to build a keynote or a power, whatever we call this, Google. When I said sheet, does that make... What do we call those in here? Slides. Yeah, I thought I picked sheets, but... Okay, I guess I hit slides. I don't know. We'll go back and look at that again. But let's go and look at the doc that it made me. Look at that. And the formatting looks beautiful. Okay. So what do we have? Okay, so I dynamically inserted this here, but because it wrote a blog post, it already took the title and put it there. So that was smart. I don't have to dynamically insert that at the top anymore. But guys, this is looking really promising. I think we just crossed this off the list. Okay, let's look. Okay, here's the blog post. Look at that freaking formatting. It looks fantastic. Is it perfect? No. But dang, it's good. Just looking at the formatting, kind of looking at what it hit. Okay, so what's this? This is now the newsletter, I think. Where's the newsletter? So I'm going to have to figure out how to break it up a little bit so it makes it more clear, because you can't put it into multiple tabs, but it can go into one doc. And if it's organized well enough, then it should be able to do this. Okay. I think this is the beginning of the newsletter segment. Because, yeah. Yep. Curve. I could also go back in and adjust. Here's the beginning of the thread. Oh, we have the beginning of the LinkedIn post. So I just have to go in and inject some static formatting. But I'm pretty much there. All the content is here. The only problem is you can't dynamically change the name of the Google Doc. So that's kind of unfortunate. Like that would be the one place, because if you ran this, if you had like a daily show and you ran it every day, then you'd want it to be titled differently every single time. We are pretty far down the line. Here's the show notes. Okay. It's interesting. It rendered it in HTML rather than text. So that's kind of an issue. That's something to massage out a little bit in the instructions. Okay. So this was weird. And it like opened up here. So this rendering, whatever this was weird, but it did make it all the way to Drive. And I'm not sure what I did in order to make that work. And I'm not even sure where it's at in Drive, because it's showing up in here. And I wish more of you were over in the show notes right now, as I would just ask you how you could find this. But let's go ahead and make a few changes and then run it again. Let's go to app. If I click again, then we just start over. I hate that you can't like go back to revisions. But let's go ahead. Let's get rid of this output. We don't want that. Did I select slides? I did select slides. Let's select sheets this time and see what the heck happens. Okay. Let's change the title of this for funsies. Google Doc. Okay, so we don't need this, but we do need something Markdown. Google Doc. We're going to call this, we're going to use Markdown, call this blog post. I don't know if it's going to like, I'm so not used to working with this, so I don't really know what's going to happen here. I'm just kind of going to come back and change those. Maybe this will help. So blog post, newsletter, LinkedIn posts, Twitter thread, show notes. But dang, I mean, I'm almost going to count that as done, but I don't know. I kind of want to see if this works because that was a big deal. And then we had an issue with, what was it? Show notes. So let's go back and modify the prompt there. Because these notes worked in ChatGPT, but Google is not taking what worked in ChatGPT isn't working in Gemini, and that's fine. So I just got to make a modification to make sure it is a little bit different. I think it's because it can't render the links the same way, so it actually just renders out all the HTML. Screw it. We're running out of time, so I'll have to come back and finish that a little bit later and fine tune it. So let's go ahead and go back to app and let's run this hopefully the last time and see if we can at least get the headers in that Google Doc correct and see what it looks like in Sheets and see what the end of the render here looks like. So we got the title. Oh, don't want to block that. Let's go. Title. Let's go get that transcript again right there. Transcript, play, and we're going to go all these, search or generate. Oh, and now comes the waiting process again as it goes through rendering all that stuff. In the meantime, let's go find out where it's throwing all the documents. I have a very unorganized drive, so I'm not sure where it put that. Maybe it put that in Opal this time. Yeah, it's not these, even though it's storing instructions in here. I'm not sure where the other ones are going. Did it go in shared? I don't have any shared for this account. So where is it storing it? Is it storing it in here? What was it called again? No. Podcast repurposer. So I'm looking. There's probably a better way to search for it than just scrolling through these podcasts. Are these even in alphabetical order? I guess we could switch to the list to make it easier. There it is. It is in the root folder of my drive. And it's going to keep calling it the same thing every time, I assume. But we shall see. And next time there should be two more files here. A duplicate of this one at a different time. And I guess that would be the one differentiator. Even though I can't title it differently, at least they have a different creation date. There'll be a Google Sheets here. And it'll be wild to see how it formats that. It was wild to see how it formatted this sheet. Look at this. I mean, what is... If it weren't for these smileys, then it's actually like... okay. Like, what's with all the happy faces? Otherwise, like... not bad, I guess. Oh, I'm in there twice. It screwed up on the bolding, but otherwise it's a boring PowerPoint with nothing in there, but at least the formatting's not completely crazy. And It essentially took what was a blog post and a bunch of different content and then just decided to take all of it and reformat all of it into a drive or into a slide deck, which is kind of weird. Because remember, the output that it was given was the blog post and all the newsletter and LinkedIn posts. And then it had to take that and think like, hey, like, I don't know why he's asking me to put all this content to a slide deck. I'm going to rewrite it all. And so it just made the decision to do that. Interesting. Versus in the doc, it's like, oh, okay, it wants me to insert all the stuff we already made into the doc. So that made sense. Let's see, where are we at? Oh, there it is. Is that what it's supposed to look like? Because last time we got the slide and it was just a white thing there. I don't see the Google Sheet, but at least we have the link to the doc, which is pretty cool. And I think this is the new one, but I thought I'd gotten rid of this thing here. So is that all we get? I don't know. Let's go back to editor. Did I? Yeah, I did take that random double title out, but did it break it up? I don't see the word blog post across the top. Did we get that for the newsletter? No. I feel like I got the exact same thing that we were just looking at. Did it even make a new one? 3 minutes left, guys. So, did it make a new one? Here's the Google Sheet. This is the newer version, and it wrote over the top of the last one. It just replaced the last one with the new one. So I'm not sure. Did it make a new tab for it? No. I'm not sure if it wrote over the top of the last one or what. That's the notes. So I'm going to call this one, we only have 2 minutes left. I think I'm going to check it off as done, and it just needs little tweaks now. Didn't have time for the bonuses, so I assume that I can get this thumbnail, and the additional titles would be pretty straightforward from here. But let's take a look. What did it do with the sheets? What did it do? Podcast hit list, podcast repurposer. What am I looking at? It like somehow just scanned through and just AI adoption. AI video, results, sponsor. It kind of tried to organize it the best that it could, like like Google Slides, and it tried to make sense of all the data because I didn't give it any instructions for how to deal with the massive amount of content. So it just did what AI does. It hallucinated, as in it took its best guess at how it wanted it organized. So it ended up organizing the topic by key statistic, source context, and implication for marketers, which is really kind of cool that it at least took a shot at how to organize all that content from a podcast episode and then put it into a Google Sheet. So I assume that if you went back and actually wrote some instructions for it to follow, like look for this, organize it in these columns by these rows, it would probably do pretty well, at least in organizing the information that you want to see. And maybe you have some data, like I had a poll result here. I could have had it build a sheet, maybe even a little graph in a Google Sheet. So that's kind of cool that you can inject data in here and dynamically tell it to organize it in the way you want. But because I didn't give it instructions, it made its best guess. Still not sure why it didn't really get these. So I don't think there's anybody watching now, and that's okay. Otherwise, I would ask. I think I've checked all these off the list. It's not perfect. It's not exactly the way I would do it. Where is it? Where's my final list? But all the content is here. It in the right, pretty close to the right format, and it's workable. Like, this is workable. It's probably going to take a little bit more time to refine it farther, but generally I got what I came to get. And now I can expand, refine, and actually take this Google Opal project to a whole new level. So this is very exciting because there's a lot to do here. Oh, we are out of time. So thank you for tuning in to another episode of Ship Happens within the AI-driven marketer. This was exciting to build this Google Opal project, and I learned a lot in the process of trying to build it. I'm going to be building a lot of these, and you can expect a full episode with a how-to on how to build these things, though it's always fun to try to test the skills and see if I could deliver something in 60 minutes. I'm going to call this one done.